Hello, everyone, and welcome to our history lesson for Monday and Tuesday. So, we are going to read Be a Photograph Detective, and as good readers, I know that it's important to have a purpose for our reading. So, we're going to take a look at some questions that we'll answer after we finish reading. The link to this video that you're watching is located inside of your Seesaw assignment, so we're going to take a look at it right now. And our assignment for Monday and Tuesday is this. It says, click the link to watch a video about primary sources. Hopefully you have already done that. If not, go ahead and pause this video and watch that video. And then next, you would have clicked the video that you're watching now. Click the link to watch a video of Miss McElroy reading Be a Photograph Detective. Now, I know, as I said before, good readers have a purpose for reading. So here is our purpose. We're going to read to see if we can answer these questions. The first question is, what questions do historians ask? So we're going to be on the lookout to answer that question. And I have my second brain, my notebook, so that I can jot notes as I go to help me answer the question. Now, you can pause this video if you need to stop and jot a note. Then you're going to type your answer here in this section, or you can handwrite your answer and take a photo of your handwritten answer. The next question we're going to be looking for is, what are primary sources? Give at least 3 examples. You're going to find out this information both in the first video that you watched about primary sources and in the reading that we are doing together today. Now, those aren't the only questions we hope to answer in this reading, so I'm going to click to page 2. Let me move my screen over here. Click to page 2 right here, and Monday and Tuesday social studies assignment continued. Number 3, we're going to look closely at the photograph on page 11. We're going to read the caption. What are the clues that tell when the photo was taken and what it shows? Now, you can either rewind the video and go back to the spot where I'm reading this, or you can also click on the link to go to the book itself. Either way works, and I know that good readers also know to go back and reread to find an answer. I do it all the time, and it helps me be a better learner. So when you're answering that page, you're going to want to flip to the specific page that they ask you about in the question. Let's go back and see the other question that we need to answer. Look at the photograph on page 13. Oh, look at this. We get to be photograph detectives. How would it look different if it was taken today? How would it look the same? Alrighty, and then there is a third page too that is also part of Monday and Tuesday's social studies assignment. Number 5, look closely at the 2 photographs on page 14 and 15. Describe 2 differences you notice when comparing these photographs. More of a chance to be photograph detectives. Name 2 details that have stayed the same. So again, we're comparing change in continuity, like all good historians do, and a spot again to type or take a photo of your handwritten answer. And finally, for Monday and Tuesday's assignment, number 6, you're going to look at the photo on page 17. Write a caption for this photograph as if you were the photographer. Okay, so let's get started with reading and answering our questions. Are you ready to read with me with our purpose in mind? I think the first 2 questions we're going to need to look for are, what questions do historians ask, and what are primary sources? Be a Photograph Detective by Linda Barghorn. Readers take on the role of historical detectives as they examine photographs, as they discover how they can be used to study the past. Be a photograph detective. As I'm trying to turn the page. History detectives. How do we know what life was like in the past? Using the right tools, we can discover clues about life long ago. This book will teach you how to ask and answer questions to learn about the past. What is history? History is the study of things that happened in the past. It tells us how people and places have changed over time. Historians are people who study history. Historians are like detectives. They look for clues to help answer questions about the past. Historians look for answers to questions such as how and why do communities change over time? How have important discoveries changed our world? Finding answers to these questions can help us better understand the world today. Ooh, maybe I should pause. Maybe I should jot that note. That sounds like we just found out the answer to one of our questions. What are primary sources? Historians use primary sources to look for clues about the past. Primary sources are records created by people during a certain time in history. They give eyewitness information about people, places, and events. Oh, maybe I should pause and jot that down. Primary sources are records created by people during a certain time in history. They give eyewitness information about people, places, and events. I'll have to think about how I can put that in my own words. Let's read some more to see what notes we can jot to explain the concept of primary sources to someone who doesn't know about them. An object, such as a bicycle, is a primary source. It shows us one way people traveled from place to place more than 100 years ago. Primary sources, such as this diary, provide a first-hand account of what life was like in the past. Photographs, such as this photo of a family, are primary sources. We can learn things from photos, such as the kinds of clothes people wore during a certain time in history. Historians study objects, diaries, photos, and other primary sources. They use what they learn as evidence to support their answers to questions about the past. Did we just get another answer? I think we did. It says historians study objects, diaries, photos, and other primary sources. I guess by objects, they're talking about artifacts, like this bicycle could be an artifact. I like to connect to other books we've read. Do you remember? Thumbs up if you remember when we read our book about how to be an artifact detective. So artifacts, are they primary sources? If you said yes, you're correct. Artifacts are primary sources. Look and learn. Did you know the very first photograph was taken in 1826? Since then, some historians believe people have taken as many as 3.5 trillion photographs. Photographs are primary sources that show how things looked in the past. Historians can use photographs to answer questions about the past. For example, the photos shown here can help us answer these questions. What games did children play in the past? What kinds of clothes did children wear? A snapshot in time. A photograph provides a snapshot of only one moment in time, so it cannot tell the whole story. One photograph cannot give all the answers to our questions. One photograph cannot give all the answers to our questions. Historians must use evidence from many different primary sources to answer questions about the past. We're going to talk a little bit about why historians need to use multiple sources in our lesson on Friday when we meet live together. Why do you think historians might need to use more than one primary source or more than one source? I can't wait to hear your answers to that question when we meet on Friday. Photographs can give clues about jobs people had in the past. This photograph has a caption, Milkman. Photographs can help us learn about important events that happened in the past. Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, November 25th, 2010. How to be a photograph detective. Photograph detectives look carefully at all parts of the photograph. They look at the largest parts of the image as well as small details. A detail is a small part or feature of a larger thing. Photograph detectives pay attention to details to look for clues to learn about people, places, and events shown in the photograph. Look at the photograph below. You might notice that it shows an old classroom, but It also includes details such as the answer the boy is writing on the chalkboard and the pictures hanging on the wall. Searching for clues. Small details give clues about the people, places, and events in photographs. For example, signs and dates can tell us where or when the photograph was taken. Clues can also be found in captions. A caption is made up of words that describe the people, place, or event shown in a photograph. They are often found beside or under photographs in newspapers and books. Captions may be written by the person who took the photo or by a newspaper writer. Detective duty. Look closely at this photograph and read the caption. Can you find the clues that tell us where and when the photograph was taken and what it shows? I think this is one of the questions that I asked you to answer in Seesaw. Let's take a look. Yep, it says, look closely at the photograph on page 11. Read the caption. What are the clues that tell when the photo was taken and what it shows? I think we found another answer. Dodge City, USA, May 17, 2015, platform of the train station. Studying photographs. Photograph detectives study photographs to help learn about what life was like in the past. One way to begin studying a photograph is by asking the 5 W questions. Use these questions to study the photograph on page 13. Who, what, where, when, and why. Who is in the picture? What is happening in the photograph? Where is the photograph taken? Describe the scene or setting. When was the photograph taken? What time of day or year was it? Why do you think the photograph was taken? Why? We need to find out more. The building is on fire. Maybe the photographer wanted a picture of the fire for the newspaper. Who? There is an old fire truck and firemen on top of it. What? The firemen look like they are trying to put out a fire in a building. Where? Tall buildings and a paved or covered road are clues that the photograph was taken in a city. When? The photograph looks old because it is in black and white. The fire engine is an old style. The firemen are wearing old uniforms. Looking for answers. After studying the photograph, what other questions do you have? For example, you might wonder, did old fire engines like this one have sirens? What color were fire engines during this time? Searching for clues to help answer your questions is all part of being a photograph detective. You may need to look at other sources to answer your questions. You might look for answers by visiting a museum or library, or by asking an expert. Detective duty. How would the scene in the photograph look different if it was taken today? How would it look the same? Aha, this is another one of our questions that we get to answer in Seesaw. Past and present. Studying photographs can help us compare and contrast communities today with how they were in the past. This helps us understand how places change over time. The photographs on these pages show the Manhattan Bridge in New York City. They give us clues about how this city has changed from the time the Manhattan Bridge was built over 100 years ago until today. As you study the photographs, ask yourself the 5 W questions. Who, what, where, when, and why. Look closely at the bridge in each photograph and the buildings and streets around it. What has changed in each photograph? Has anything stayed the same? Detective duty. Describe 2 differences you noticed when comparing these photographs. Name 2 details that have stayed the same. Share your answers with others. We may have some time to share our answers when we meet on Friday. Photograph 1. This photograph shows a city with a bridge over the river. The bridge is being built. The photo is taken from above ground, maybe from another building nearby. The photo looks like it was taken many years ago. The buildings are not very tall. There are old boats on the river and an old car parked in the street. This photograph looks like it was taken to show the bridge being built. So they answered the questions here: who, what, where, when, and why. Let's see if the answers for photograph 2 are the same or different. This is a photograph of a large city beside a river with a bridge. We cannot see anything happening in this photo. This photo looks like it was taken from an airplane. This photo looks very new. There are many tall buildings and a modern bridge. This photograph almost looks like a postcard. It could be celebrating how big the city is. Oh, do we have another answer? I think we do. Now it's your turn to go to your Seesaw assignment and answer question 5. Celebrating exciting moments. Some photographs show exciting firsts in history. Orville and Wilbur Wright were American inventors. They spent many years trying to build the first airplane that could fly. On December 17, 1903, they were finally successful. Orville's history-making first flight lasted for about 12 seconds. What clues can you find in this photograph to tell us more about this important event? Use 5 W questions to help you. Who? There is a man standing near the plane and another one on the wings of the plane. They could be Orville and Wilbur Wright. What? It looks like the plane is about to land because we can see its shadow on the ground. When? The photo looks very old because it is in black and white. Also, the plane looks much different than the ones used today. Where? It looks like they are on a beach or in a field because there is sand and mud on the ground. Why? This could be one of their attempts to fly their new airplane. Now it's your turn. Detective duty. Write a caption for this photograph as if you were the photographer who took the picture. That was another one of our pictures or one of our questions that we needed to ask. So let's go back to Seesaw. Yep, write a caption for this photograph as if you were the photographer. And again, remember, you can type your answer or you can handwrite it and take a photo of it. A timeline. A photograph detective can create a timeline by studying many photographs of the same subject. A timeline places events in order from the past to the present. Timelines can help us learn about how a person, place, or event has changed over time. These 3 photographs show women playing ice hockey during the last 100 years. Look for clues that help you put the photographs in order from past to present or oldest to newest. These questions might help you. What are the women wearing? What kind of hockey equipment do they have? Where was the photograph taken? What other questions might help you find clues? Detective duty. Study the photographs and use the clues you find to help you place the photographs on a timeline. Compare your timeline with others. Discuss the clues you use to help you create your timeline. Did your friends use different clues? If you'd like to, you could ask a remote learning caregiver or someone else in your family to talk through the order that you put your photos in and see if they agree with you. If you have extra time or looking for something extra to do, you might try this activity, but it's not required. Let's read about it. Create a timeline. Create a photo timeline of your life. Think about the important events in your life that you want to include. You can use photographs that you have taken and photos that others have taken of you. As you choose your photos, think about the ones that best tell the story of you. activity. Your photos should help a future photograph detective learn about your life and what is important to you. These questions can help you choose photographs to include: who are the people most important to you? What hobbies or sports do you enjoy? Do you have any special awards you are proud of, such as a school award or a sports trophy? Do you have a photo of a special time spent with your family? Can you include a baby picture, a toddler picture, and a picture of you today to show how you have changed? After you have chosen your photos, put them in order from past to present. Attach the photos to a large piece of paper. Write a caption below each photograph to describe what the photograph shows and why it is important. Include the date each photo was taken if you know it. Detective duty. Remember the 5 W questions from page 12? Do your captions help answer these questions? Again, this is just a fun activity if you want something extra to do. It's nothing that we're doing together as a class, and it's not an assignment. Activity wrap-up. Your photo timeline should provide a unique picture of your life. It is special because it is about you. Share your timeline with your classmates. Ask them what they discovered about you from the photos you chose. Does their answer surprise you? What did you learn about yourself from this activity? So again, this is just for fun if you'd like to do it. If you wanted to share with your classmates, let me know, and you can use our Flipgrid link, Flipgrid show and tell link. Congratulations! You now have the tools to be a real photograph detective. Keep up the detective work as you gather clues to help you learn more about the past. Learning more. There are many places you can visit to find out more about primary sources. Start with your local museum and library. Churches, community groups, and schools are also good places to find information. These books and websites will help you learn more. And here we have a list of books and some websites. Most of these websites I explored, and the links are sadly, no longer valid. All right, words to know. Here are some words that were important for understanding the book that we just read. Caption. You guys know that one. Words written on or near a photograph that describe what the photo shows. Compare. To look at 2 or more things and notice how they are the same. Contrast. To look at 2 or more things and notice how they are different. Evidence. Information that helps prove something is either true or false. Expert. Someone who has special knowledge on a subject. Eyewitness, a person who sees something happen and can tell us about it. You guys are all eyewitnesses to what school was like during the pandemic. First-hand account. A story or source, such as a diary that came directly from someone who experienced or witnessed an event. Historian, a person who studies past events. History, the study of past events. Subject, the person or thing being described or shown. Timeline, a graphic organizer used to show events in order from past to present. And then we have an index and about the author. I've noticed some of you guys are including this in your writing, which I think is fun. Linda Barghorn has been sharing stories, hers and others, for years. She has traveled the world taking photographs of many things, such as dramatic landscapes in South America. She is the author of several children's books and is working on a novel about her father's life. Thank you everyone for listening to my video presentation of this book and going through the Seesaw assignment and being historians and being photograph detectives. I can't wait to read all of the great work that you do. Remember to use complete sentences, including the question, when you answer all 3 pages for Monday and Tuesday. And please remember, as it says right here in the pink box, to record yourself reading your answer. You'll find when you read your answer out loud, oftentimes you'll catch and fix mistakes. And it helps you with your learning and getting that information into your brain so that you can continue to be awesome. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.